Now, if you were one anticipating a big ol' finale of Lunar vs. Shadow and From Beyond Part 3, you might be a bit disappointed in what you're about to see, as while this is a continuation of those two updates there, let us just say that the moon came to play today, folks. And trust me, this post does this release no justice. So let us just start from the beginning. Yes, let us say that the lunar rifts are indeed active, and a couple days have passed, and all of a sudden, moon glass starts plummeting to the ground. No, you're not hallucinating, it is real, so say hello to Lunar Hail, everybody. Blocked by the umbrella, waterlogged trees, and just about any tree really, this new weather doesn't technically hurt us, but if we or other mobs mind get hit by the debris, it's not going to be pretty. Now, lunar aligned mobs are safe it seems, but something tells me this damage will still change, as dealing with this rain every couple days is going to be devastating for the little guys. But the next world event you're likely going to witness is another visit from the mysterious old coot himself, Wagstaff. Every 1 to 15 days following a rift's opening, the guy will run past us spouting nonsense, and we're gonna want to run where he's running. Do so, and he will eventually pinpoint the location of the new abandoned junk scent piece, although I do believe that these actually spawn naturally every 4 to 7 days regardless. The Wagstaff event just makes them easier to find, of course. Be sure to read them research notes for some good fun, and to see an upgraded scrapbook actually. But yes, to clarify, the junk spawns every 4 to 7 days after a rift opens, and the Wagstaff event starts out very frequent, but slows down over time. But why's that? Well, because these set pieces are not just for show. We can actually hammer all this junk for cutstone, electrical doodads, trinkets even, but more importantly, a new scrap material that will go into some upcoming crafts, but can also repair ruins clockworks at the end of the day. But what are these new crafts, you ask? Oh, you know, just one of Wagstaff's greatest inventions ever. No big deal. For every piece of junk hammered, we have a 20% chance to get a blueprint for a W.A.R.B.I.S armor piece, of which there are 2, obviously. They're quite expensive, so it is going to take a bit to get the full set, but it will be well worth it, as while their individual stats may not impress all that much, although do note that as a set, their planar defense is rather nice. Their actual mechanics are game-changing. Hit almost anything, and the hat will lock onto it, immediately granting a damage and speed boost to the hat and armor respectively. Continue to dodge and cleave, and every 10 seconds afterwards, the pieces will level up, and once at full power, we will enjoy 20% more damage and 30% more speed. It does appear that the speed persists as long as you keep the armor on, but note that if you swap armors, these new ones have to quote-unquote re-sync a bit, as you saw. It's really neat stuff, and fully repairable too. For you see, a third blueprint for a unique armor repair kit is available too, so make notes. And you might want to keep that pen and paper handy as we're just getting started. Sort of like how a select few bosses are now no longer dead once they're actually dead. With a rift active and the proper boss corpse present, we can now face down entirely new lunar monstrosities like Crystal Deerclops here, a boss with 6,000 health, planar defense, a never-ending ice aura, increased damage that includes planar mechanics, and just straight up new attacks as you can see. But she's not alone. BEARDO will become the Armor BEARDO, boasting 8,000 health, big time damage, although BEARDO actually lost damage in this update, see the pinned comment below, combo swipes, a butt stomp if we get behind him, and more. But finally, well, whatever this is, Vargs can become possessed now, and breathe literal ice fire, everyone. Yup, it's a thing. But how do we beat these new things? Well, I'd bring some planar weapons for sure. However, they all actually have an exploitable weakness anyway, so listen up. Once the Deerclops is done throwing its 2 ice spikes, hit it with the fire and you will get your quote-unquote free attacks in quickly. The BEARDO can be beaten in 2 ways actually, with one seeing us hit him with a planar weapon specifically, immediately following a butt slam, with the other just being pure patience mind. And lastly, the Varg is still beatable with friends, I feel, but can be stunned individually if hit when breathing fire, so be prepared there. And yes, if these new guys scare you, you can just burn their corpses before they get infected by the Bright Shade Gestalts. And yes, there is a new purpose for beating these upgraded beasts, the Spark Arc. Dropped by Wagstaff every time we beat all 3 bosses, these Spark Arcs must be brought down to an activated ancient archive in order to be charged by the security orbs down here, and only then can we start to consider crafting the new stuff at a bright smithy. Now, obtaining 3 spark arcs is gonna take a long time, as you just heard, so I guess the question now is any of this worth it? Maybe. Take the ice crystallizer here. By its lonesome, it does nothing, but socket a Deerclop's eyeball and things get cool quick. Literally. In short, this new structure is a massive cooling station for the world, and when I say massive, I do mean it. The range on the cooling is huge, and the best part, there are seemingly no witherings or wildfires within its range, and it will even apply a hidden freezing effect to mobs for easier ice staff usage. Not bad, but situational. So how about the Howlitzer blow darts? Well, it's a new ranged weapon with insane range compared to normal blow darts that will take Hound Teeth as ammo, dealing 68 damage a spit. Plus, it deals nearly all of that damage as planar damage, so even the toughest defenses will still feel the sting. And honestly, that probably makes it the best thing here today, minus the armor. As while the Polar Bear pin is indeed an insanely effective portable icebox, it only accepts full crockpot dishes alone, so do with that as you please. But if you please, I would ask you stick around one last segment as we're not quite done. Nab yourself a replica relic chair blueprint from a resting horror or relic combination and build it for Pearl specifically. As in doing so, she will complain as always, but still gain a friendship level, while also offering up a blueprint for the Sawhorse. Proceed to build this new crafting station, and you will discover 9 new buildings for you to play around with. For now, everything is purely decor of course, but we can still plant things in the vases, turn the lamp on and off, write on the frames, and so on and so forth, so enjoy it all while also realizing that the camera angle matters in the placement of all this stuff at the end of the day, so be aware. And that gramophone you may have spotted is indeed a thing as well, and it comes with 4 interchangeable songs at an alchemy engine for your torture, I mean pleasure. So have fun. As there you have everyone, the new Host of Horrors beta update for Don't Starve Together. But some final highlights would be that they have seemingly taken the surprises out of hunts with new indicators and animal tracks, while also giving us one last surprise from above in bright-eyed frogs. These planar having amphibians have a 60% chance to replace regular frogs in any frog rain, and yes, they're not friendly, just like most of this update honestly. As yeah, sure, we can access most of it immediately through rift setting tweaks, but if you're dying for a more challenging endgame, I think you just got it finally, so maybe don't actually access this stuff immediately, mostly because it's gonna take a heck of a lot of time to reach it all anyways. But thanks for watching folks, let us know what you found down below, be a good host, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.